Let's talk about turning a $1,000 investment into $10,000. Sounds exciting, right? But let me tell you right off the bat, this isn't some get-rich-quick scheme. This is about focus, discipline, and smart strategies that anyone can apply. I'm going to share my personal journey of how I made it happen and the exact principles I used. It's not magic, it's mindset and action. First things first, let's start with the mindset. Before I invested a single dollar, I made a decision that no matter what, I was going to make this work. That mindset, the no excuses, no turning back kind, is crucial. You have to believe in yourself and your ability to succeed. If you don't, you'll give up at the first sign of difficulty. For me, it started with asking myself, what am I willing to sacrifice to make this happen? Because let's be honest, every goal requires sacrifice. Time, comfort, even some risks. You need to be crystal clear on why you're doing this and commit to it. Now, when I started with $1,000, I didn't just throw it into something random. The first rule of investing is to educate yourself. I spent months, learning everything I could about different opportunities. Stocks, crypto, startups, flipping items, you name it. The goal wasn't to become an expert overnight, but to gather enough knowledge to make an informed decision. A lot of people lose money because they go in blind. Don't do that. Knowledge is power, and the more you know, the better equipped you'll be to make smart moves. For me, the first investment I made was in myself. That's right. Before I even put money into the market, I used a portion of that $1,000 to buy books, courses, and even attend a couple of workshops. Why? Because if you don't know what you're doing, you're gambling, not investing. For example, I took a course on personal finance and another on market analysis. That gave me the tools to assess risks and opportunities. Think of it this way, the best investment you can ever make is in your own knowledge and skills. Once you have that foundation, you can multiply your money far more effectively. And so that's why these workshops, and again, that's why the price ranges. It's something that, so here's how it began. After educating myself, I decided to divide my $1,000 into parts. Diversification is key. You don't put all your eggs in one basket. I split my money into three areas. $500 into stocks, $300 into a side hustle, and $200 into crypto. Why these three? Let me break it down. The $500 in stocks was my long-term play. I researched companies with solid fundamentals, consistent growth, and industries that were on the rise. I wasn't looking for the next big thing. I was looking for stability and potential. One of the companies I chose was in the renewable energy sector. Why? Because the world is moving towards clean energy, and I saw it as a smart bet. I also reinvested the dividends back into the stocks, which helped my portfolio grow steadily over time. Now let's talk about the $300 side hustle. This is where hard work and creativity came into play. I used that money to start flipping items online. I would buy undervalued products from clearance sales, garage sales, or even thrift stores, and sell them for a profit on platforms like eBay and Facebook Marketplace. It's not glamorous work, but it's effective. The key here was consistency. I set a goal to reinvest every penny I made back into the hustle. Within a few months, that $300 turned into $1,000, then $2,000, and it kept growing. The last $200 went into cryptocurrency. Now, I know what you're thinking. Crypto is risky, and you're right. That's why I only allocated a small portion of my funds to it, but here's the thing. I didn't just pick random coins because they were trending. I researched projects with strong teams, clear use cases, and long-term potential. For example, I invested in a blockchain project that was solving real-world problems in supply chain management. The key with crypto was to stay updated and not get greedy. I set clear profit targets and stuck to them. When my investment doubled, I pulled out my initial $200 and let the profits ride. Now, let's talk about discipline. Discipline was the glue that held everything together. There were days when the market dropped or I didn't feel like listing items for my side hustle, but I stayed consistent. Why? Because I had a plan and I trusted the process. This is where most people fail. They let emotions dictate their actions. Fear, greed, doubt. These are your biggest enemies in investing. You have to learn to control them. Stick to your strategy even when it's tempting to deviate. Another important lesson I learned was the power of compounding. Whether it's reinvesting your stock dividends, rolling profits back into your side hustle, or letting your crypto gains grow, compounding accelerates your results over time. It's like a snowball effect. The more you grow, the faster it grows. But you have to be patient. Compounding doesn't work if you're constantly pulling money out. There's no work. Compounding, it doesn't work if you're constantly pulling money out. Let it build. Networking also played a big role in my journey. I started connecting with people who were more experienced than me. I joined online forums, attended meetups, and even reached out to successful investors on social media. Learning from others' experiences saved me from making a lot of mistakes. Plus, having a support system keeps you motivated and accountable. Remember, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Surround yourself with people who push you to be better. Now, let's address setbacks. Were there losses? Absolutely. Not every stock I picked went up. Not every item I flipped sold for a profit. And yes, some crypto investments didn't pan out. But here's the thing. I didn't let those losses define me. Instead, I learned from them. Every setback taught me something valuable. For example, one of my crypto investments tanked because I didn't research the project thoroughly. That mistake taught me to dig deeper and never invest based on hype alone. Failure isn't the end, it's a lesson. Another thing that helped was tracking my progress. I kept a detailed journal of every investment, every flip, every decision. This wasn't just to see how much money I was making, it was to analyze what was working and what wasn't. Data doesn't lie. If something isn't yielding results, you need to pivot. On the flip side, if something is working, double down on it. By the time I turned that $1,000 into $10,000, I realized something profound. It wasn't just about the money. The real reward was the skills, discipline, and mindset I developed along the way. Those are things that can't be taken away from you. Money comes and goes, but the knowledge and habits you build are yours forever. If there's one takeaway I want you to have from my journey, it's this. Success is a process. It's not about one big win or some secret hack. It's about showing up every day, putting in the work, and trusting that the small steps you take will add up to something great. Whether you're starting with $1,000, $100, or even less, the principles are the same. Educate yourself, take calculated risks, and stay consistent. So wherever you are right now, know that it's possible. You don't need to be a genius or have a ton of money to start. All you need is the willingness to learn, the courage to take action, and the discipline to see it through. Remember, it's not about where you start, it's about where you're going. And with the right mindset and strategy, you can achieve more than you ever thought possible.